The next area that we want to go over or focus really on is, what does the client own? This part of my intake is the very first thing I want to go over, because you can't help somebody if you don't understand what they own. Okay, when I'm doing this, the first thing that I want to know is income of the individual. Now, there's reasons later on that you're going to want to know this. Mainly for if you get into elder law planning. Income is very important. But also, this is for me to understand if I need to help this person out with my packages. If I get somebody in that makes nothing and they have no assets, but they want to get a will done, I'm going to discount my prices for them. I'm going to help them out. Also, I want to know if someone can afford my plan and they're just cheap. I don't want to work with cheap people. If I'm going to take the liability on, I'm going to draft these documents for you and you can afford them, then, I expect you to pay for them. However, I do cut my prices for people that I see need the help. I don't think you should ever do estate planning for free. Generally, even when you do estate plans for your friends, you should charge them for the materials and a little bit of your time. You may discount it significantly. However, it's important to understand income, because this will start opening your eyes to maybe later on down the road when you learn more complex things, how you can really help people. Okay, number 2, I break out these two groups into unprotected assets and the next is going to be protected assets. Now, I might need to wipe some things off the board as we go along. But unprotected assets, in your state, you need to know what unprotected assets is. And that's what I actually say to the clients. I go, we're going to go over your unprotected assets. These are the assets that creditors can take for you. Why am I doing that? I'm setting up the framework, because remember what a level 3 estate planning attorney does? Asset protection. So I want them to get in their mind, hey, not all my money's protected, but it can be. And that's later on down the road. If you want to go into it, I'll show you how you can make money off of protecting people's assets. But number one thing that's unprotected is your checking account. Okay, I want to know how much you hold in your checking and your savings accounts. Okay, I want to generally understand, do they hold a lot of money there? And you'll find older people will sometimes hold $300,000 or $400,000 in their checking and savings accounts. And I tell them, hey, those assets can be taken from you. All right, the next is that we're going to go over, is stocks / bonds outside of retirement accounts. In the state of Texas, stocks and bonds outside of retirement accounts are not protected assets, and they can be taken from somebody. CDs, this is kind of dying off. You once in a while will get somebody that has CDs, but really that's not a big thing anymore. A promissory note. Now, of course, promissory notes, that who really wants a promissory note if they're worthless, but I want to know. And people don't understand what promissory notes are. So if you say that, they're going to be, what are you talking about? You say, hey, have you loaned any money to anybody? All right, does anybody owe you money? Okay. And that is generally the basic concept of unprotected assets that you want to go over. You may, in your state, list more. In the state of Texas, we have huge protections for home furnishing, sporting equipment. And so I don't get into how all that's protected. Your horse is protected, your Bible's protected, everything is protected in Texas. So unprotected assets, that's a general idea of what you can put in there and you can go through. But it's very, very important to go through all that. Now, all right, let's go off of that. That's your unprotected. Now, so, wait, I probably could have left that up there, make it easier. But let's go over number 3, protected assets. This starts showing, let's go over the protected assets, because I want to start explaining to people what is protected. Because then all of a sudden they go, in Texas, our number one thing is your homestead. Oh yeah, Texas, this is great. You can keep your house no matter what. Now, the next thing that we in Texas are retirement accounts. Now, this is very important. You want to know how much they have in each one of these. You want to get the view of how they hold their property. Where are they putting it? You can read into these people very much. People who hold their money in checking savings account, they're risk averse. They don't risk anything. They put all their money in there. They play it safe. They're going to play it safe with you. They're going to want to do the safest things to protect things. People who are bigger risk takers, they're okay. They live in this world of, nothing ever bad happens to me. Okay, retirement accounts, 401k and IRA. Okay, important things to understand about 401ks and IRAs. They are separately held accounts. So checking accounts might be jointly owned. Usually they are. Savings accounts the same way. IRAs, 401ks, on the other hand, these are always separately held. That's important to understand when you're setting a beneficiary designation. All right, life insurance. Maybe you didn't know that life insurance is creditor protected. It's a protected asset. Man, those lobbyists are great for life insurance companies and annuities. All right? Annuities is another thing that people could put their money into and it would be totally protected if set up correctly. So, if you get basic understanding. And then 5, I'm throwing this out to my clients here. Oh, your LLC. Yeah, an LLC is protected from personal liability. So now you can start seeing, I'm planting the seeds into the person of, hey, why don't we protect your assets? Why don't we move it around? And like I said, when we get into level 3, I will talk about that, and it opens up a whole world for you in this process of planning. All right. So now the third group that I go through with, or fourth group, sorry. Let's put unprotected. I want to make sure that that's up there so you guys remember. Last is real estate. It is very, very important to understand real estate. Real estate is the main player, at least in the state of Texas, when it comes to probate. We can almost avoid probate in the state of Texas through beneficiary designations and other mechanisms if there is no real estate. But if there is real estate, we have to do like transfer on death deeds, different things like that, or set up a trust. Now, the reason why you want to know where they own real estate is if they own real estate in more than one state, you have to probate in every state that the real estate is owned. That's a huge seller when you get to trusts. So in a level 2 estate planning attorney, I talk about the 5 issues of why you need to set up a trust. You will develop your own 5 reasons, but I leave it to 5 because if I can simplify things to 5, it's easy for people to understand. You don't want to overwhelm your clients. However, this is the first thing. This is where. This isn't the where section. This is the what. All right. You need to know what they own, how much they have. And the reason why you want to get the amounts is, of course, the estate tax issue. Now, right now, the estate tax is at anything over $5.4 million for a single individual. I rarely have people come in for that. That is later on down the road. That gets into a lot more complex estate planning. Don't deal with that. Refer to somebody else, and work out a deal with another estate planning attorney that wants to deal with estate tax issues. And if your state allows, do some kind of referral fee agreement where you're taking on some of the liability like we can in Texas. However, that's down the road if you want to learn about estate tax issues and how to protect your ass or how to plan around that. There's some good opportunity to make some really good money when you understand the estate tax, but I rarely have that issue ever arise. I have about one client a year, and I see hundreds of people a year. And it's just because most people just don't have $11 million. In my area, it's upper middle class. It's not super wealthy, so I'm just not going to face those issues. However, here we are. We have the what I will post on the website, my intake form, and this is a whole page. And I've made it, try to keep it simple. The individual, husband, wife, joint assets, and keeping everything simple and in front of me that I know how much they own. Because it's powerful at the end, when you get to the end of these things, to say these words. After adding up all your assets, I see you're worth $1.2 million. It's hard for someone when you quote a $900 fee or $2,000 fee that you tell them, I can help that $1.2 million go to the right place, to the right individual, and all I'm asking for is $2,000 to do that. That's an easy sell for people. But a lot of people don't realize how much they're really worth. You got to point it out to them. I know it sounds weird, but it's true. But here we are. We have the basics and the understanding of what someone owns. Now, let me get into the really mind-opening part of this. Okay, after you do all this, okay, when we're going through what? This should open up your mind to the possibilities of the things that you can do for somebody. When you understand what someone owns, you understand you could help them by creating their will. They might need a trust, all right? They might need asset protection, okay? They might need elder law service, all right? So I'm adding in, they might need down here life insurance. You went over life insurance with them, okay? I forgot to talk about that, but that's one of the areas that you go over is your life insurance that someone has. That's one of the areas. Elder law is also referred to as long-term care planning, okay? Life insurance, the other thing that you can do. So now, of course, if you want to sell someone life insurance, you have to go get a life insurance license. I went down, I studied for 1 hour and passed the test here in Texas. I don't know if it's that easy in your state, but I have a lot of clients get in. Now, later on, I can show you some powerful ways where you can make a lot of money selling life insurance as an asset protection tool, and that will blow your mind. It is amazing what you can do because life insurance can be bankruptcy proof, creditor protected from the IRS. It grows tax free. It's taxed. You could take the money out tax free. There's all these magical things life insurance can do, but you have to learn the modified endowment contract rules. You have to understand a lot of things. Now, 6, all right? The 6th thing that you can add into this, that you could help people with, is if you go get your Series 65, you know, it'll take you you have to take a course, maybe a couple months to pass this test, but you get your Series 65, you can set up a referral arrangement with financial advisors where you get paid money to refer people for financial advising services. And bling, 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 you can start making some good money right there. But here, this is all about understanding what someone owns. If you can see the power of this, you can change your whole life. There's so much that could be done here. In going through this program, you can go from, like, I'll tell you just what I made last year, $1.3 million, having all this set up. Now, I didn't take home $1.3 million. I have a lot of staff and a lot of employees, but that's how much my business is made because I'm doing all of this. And you can do it too by just following through this college. We'll teach you how to do it.